Hey everyone, I'm Garrick DeMeyer from Royal Constrictor Designs, and I've got some more ball python clutches to cut open today. I want to show you. We've got my last chance as of right now for a genetic stripe clown clutch. Or to produce a genetic stripe clown. I've got one more gravid female this year, so hopefully it'll happen in this clutch. If not this clutch, maybe the next clutch. But anyway, I'm really hoping to hit on a genetic stripe clown this year. As you can tell, I've mentioned it in several videos in the past. I really want to hit on that. So anyway, yeah, I'm having a really incredible year. I'm up to, there's Spike, I don't know if you can hear him, that's my umbrella cockatoo, Spike. He is gonna make some noise for a little while. He doesn't like it when there's people in the building and he can't see them. He wants to make sure that everybody knows that he's there. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, I have 285 clutches of ball pythons incubating already this year, or have been incubating. It's the end of July right now, so I'm a bit ahead of schedule even compared to my best year ever. So this is looking to be a really incredible year. I know my total numbers isn't going to be what it was in 2016. I produced, I think, 2,650 babies. I'm not going to produce that many babies this year because I just don't have as many breeders as I had back then. I'm purposely trying to kind of scale my collection back and have more genes and fewer animals so I can still produce all the morphs that I want to produce and all the new combos that I want to produce, but just not quite as many of the byproducts. So I've been slowly selling off some of my more simple breeder females, like my single genes, my pastels, fires, Mojaves, things like that, and replacing them with animals with the same genes in there, but also some additional genes, so that every single baby that I hatch out is something, ideally something unique, and that I don't produce a lot of. So, but yeah, producing this many ball pythons is definitely a lot of work, but in order to produce some of the combos that I'm really looking to see, I have to produce a lot of them. Like some of these morphs are really hard to hit on, like the genetic stripe clown. I mean, I've been trying, this third clutch I'll be cutting for genetic stripe clown, haven't hit on one yet. So if I would have only decided to do one clutch of those this year, I definitely wouldn't have hit on it. So, in order to produce the animals that I want, I need to produce large numbers. And the thing is that these snakes used to be really expensive. Like, I mean, I paid tens of thousands of dollars for quite a few of my original ball python morphs. And the only way the price can come down is if more of them are produced. And the good thing about that happening, I mean, nobody wants to sell something, for anything less than what they can get. But the good thing about them coming down in price is that the average person could have one as a pet. If you want a piebald as a pet, you've seen piebalds in pictures or on videos or at shows for years, back when they were, $10, $15, even $20,000 a piece. Most people aren't going to buy a pet like that. But, if they're $300, $400 a piece now, sure, you can, anybody who wants one can save up a little bit of money and buy one. And that's the great thing about ball pythons. But in order for snakes to be available at those affordable prices, there has to be people out there producing numbers enough, because it's all supply and demand. If there were only 50 piebalds produced throughout the country in a year, the price would be much higher on them. And for the people that have those 50 piebalds, that'd be awesome for them. But then most people just aren't going to be able to have one of those amazing animals in their collection. So, I'm trying to produce large numbers, fairly large numbers, not compared to some people, but pretty good sized numbers, to provide them to people who want them as pets. I try to keep my quality as high as possible, and I've gone through some great lengths to make sure that my animals are the cleanest, healthiest animals around. I don't really I don't buy and resell animals virtually ever. I think I had a couple times in the past, years ago, but I don't generally buy and resell animals. I prefer to sell my animals that I know are eating, that I know are mite-free, disease-free, and are completely healthy. That's the only way I can feel good about selling animals, is if I know that I produce them and I know what their conditions they were kept in, I know how their health is. So, and I've gone through some great lengths to make sure that that's what's going on here. I have 2 different locations where I have my animals. A few years ago, I decided to set up a second, smaller facility It's much, much smaller than this one. Actually, the whole thing can probably fit in this room. And I have a smaller, like a secondary collection there. And nothing ever comes in and out of there unless I produce it, and it goes right over there from a hatchling. So basically, I'm ensuring that there's no potential issues with anything. And then same thing over here. We have a very closed collection. I don't have animals coming and going very often. Well, I have animals going as the animals that I produce get sold and shipped out, but I don't have new animals coming in here. So there's no possibility for me to get mites or anything like that, because I don't get animals from other people, or at least not very many. I think I've probably bought maybe 6 or 7 new ball pythons in the past year to add into my collection, genes that I didn't already have in my collection that I couldn't replicate myself. So, you know, I do have to occasionally buy ball pythons from other people, but I'm really picky about when I get them or who I get them from, just to make sure that the quality is staying the best. So anyway, you can be rest assured that my ball pythons are mite-free, disease-free, problem-free. They're awesome, and that's what I want to sell to my customers, just the best animals. I want you to have a great experience with your ball pythons from me. So hopefully that's what's going on. And anyway, I kind of think I'm talking a little bit too much right now, so let's go and take a look at some animals that are hatching and that have recently hatched. I just wanted to show this clutch really quick here. That is a Pastel Mardi Gras, so it's a asphalt, yellow belly, enchi, and pastel. This is a Pastel Freeway, so pastel, asphalt, yellow belly, and here's another one. I actually think I might have just showed these on a video pretty recently, but they're some of my favorites, so I can't hurt to show them again. Okay, and then here's my second clutch from the genetic stripe clown project that just hatched. This is from a banana cinnamon double het genetic stripe clown bred to a pewter double het genetic stripe clown. And here is a banana cinnamon that's possible double het. Well, actually, it's a banana cinnamon genetic stripe, sorry. And it's a possible het clown. This, I think, is, let me check the sex on this. I've not hatched anything that looks quite like this before. Okay, so it's got hemipines. So this is a banana super cinnamon pastel. I think it's a genetic stripe too. Yeah, I believe that that's a banana, even though it's kind of a little bit dark. But so I think this is a banana pastel super cinnamon, and it's possibly a genetic stripe. I don't know how I'm going to know that for sure, because there's just literally no pattern on that snake. And then here is a pastel super cinnamon. And again, I don't know if it's a genetic stripe or not, or clown for that matter. There's a few paradox markings on it, but there's nothing in it that would make me think that there's clown in that necessarily. And then visually, I think this is probably the coolest one. This is a super cinnamon. It's possibly a genetic stripe, but again, I don't see anything in that makes me think for certain that it's genetic stripe, and could even be clown for that matter. But I was actually kind of hoping to not hit on too many super cinnamon combos in this clutch, because I knew that would obscure the genetic stripe and it would obscure the clown patterns. But I mean, I think that's just a cool snake. And the nice thing is that they're all flawless. They don't have any kinks or anything in, any duck billing with the face that some super cinnamons can get. So I got pretty lucky in that regard, but I kind of wish that there would have been some visual clowns in this clutch. So hopefully with the clutch we'll be cutting open here in just a minute. Okay, this first clutch is from a Yellowbellied pied bred to a black Pastel Mojave het pied. I've never produced a Mojave pied, believe it or not, so let alone a Yellowbellied black Pastel Mojave pied. Let's try to get this. That's a pied. Well, I was hoping to just cut along there, but I don't think he's going to let me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a pied. Oh yeah, definitely a pied. And I'm gonna have to research what these actually are once they come out and I can get a better look at them. Like I said, I've never produced a Mojave pied. I'm pretty certain that has Mojave in it, but I just want to see if it's got yellow belly or black pastel in it too. It's I think a het pied of some kind. Cut that a little bit more. I try not to cut open the eggs any more than I have to. I just don't want them to get spooked and to just come flying out of the egg. And it could, you know, especially if they haven't absorbed all their yolk yet. That guy looks like he was ready to come out. Another pied. A lot of white. Can't really see any pattern on it, so I'll have to wait till that one comes out of the egg to really get a good look at what it is. Pinch a little bit of the loose shell. Liking the odds of this clutch. You can see a little bit of pattern there. Not enough to really know for sure what that is. Of course, if these end up being really cool, they'll make it into another video, so don't worry about that. That one looks about like the first hat that we got here. All right, so yeah, I'm really interested to see what these look like when they come out. Hopefully they're really cool. Okay, the next one here, this is a little bit more of a common combo, but this is a GHI lesser bred to a pastel lesser. So my goal with this clutch is to produce GHI lessers and also blue-eyed leucistics. Blue-eyed leucistics are very popular. People really like them. You know, I do try to emphasize a part of my collection every year into producing what people like, and not just what I want to see. So, you know, this is a pastel lesser, I think. So yeah, I try to produce some of my collection. Try to produce things that I know people want to buy, because I am in business for this. I have to make sure I have animals sold. It's a Pastel GHI. I have to make sure I sell a certain number of animals per year in order to stay in business. So I got to produce stuff that people want to buy. And then some of the things that I produce are things that I just want to see, and hopefully people want to buy them too, but mostly because I want to see what the results are. That is a Pastel Lesser GHI. Haven't hit on any blue-eyed leucistics in here yet, but I like what I have produced so far. You know, my goal with my business isn't to produce just solely the most expensive ball pythons around. That's another lesser GHI. Can't tell for sure if that one's got pastel or not, probably. But yeah, I didn't model my business after just, you know, selling every animal for $10,000 each. You know, to me that's just too inconsistent. You know, you're not going to get those kind of sales all the time. Where, you know, if you average a few $100s per animal, you know that you're going to get those sales all the time. Cool looking pastel lesser. Might be GHI in that one, I don't know. It's really like gray and black. So yeah, my goal is to produce a larger number of high quality animals that, and be able to sell them at reasonable prices that the average pet owner can afford to buy. Like the main people that buy from me are people looking for a ball python as a pet. Well, a lot of breeders too, actually, but that's a pastel lesser. No blue-eyed leucistics in this clutch, unless we get one in this egg. But yeah, my goal isn't to produce, all animals that are like $1,000 or more. Sure, it'd be nice if I could do that, but those animals are hard to sell. For every snake that I sell, it's $1,000. There's my blue-eyed leucistic. For every snake that I sell, it's $1,000. I probably sell 20 that are $300 or less. So, and that's my bread and butter. That's what pays to keep the lights on in this place, to keep the heat going in the winter. You've seen some of my videos in the past from the winter time. It's brutal up here, so heat's expensive. So, okay. So now this clutch is a Dreamsicle bred to a double het. Nice big clutch here, so I'm hoping for really good things. So let's just see what we get. I've really done well on Dreamsicles this year. I think I produced 7 or 8 of them already. And that one's a double het. Not a great start. That's okay. Plenty more eggs here. So everything that's not a Dreamsicle in here will be no worse than 100% double het. There's a Dreamsicle. Looks like pied right there, and I can definitely see some lavender coloration. My biggest problem with Dreamsicles is I love them so much I end up wanting to hold them all back, all the females anyway. And I've already got a couple of males breeding here. And that looks like a lavender 100% het pied. So if we hit on a pied 100% het lavender in this egg, we'll have had all 4 possible outcomes already. That's a pied. Huh, it is. That's funny. Nostradamus, I think. So we got a double het, a Dreamsicle, lavender het pied, and pied het lavender. See if we can repeat that here. That'd be pretty funny. Another lavender het pied. Another lavender het pied. Those are okay too. I don't mind producing those. Getting lavender het pieds or pied het lavenders is a much more affordable way to get into the Dreamsicle project than actually buying Dreamsicles. There's a Dreamsicle. I just love the oranges. It's got to be one of my favorite morphs as a hatchling, and they're not bad looking as adults either. Great, great snake. I remember seeing my first Dreamsicles ever at Daytona years ago. Ralph Davis had some of the world's first down there, and I knew at that time it was a pied het lavender. I knew at that time I needed to produce some of those myself. Speaking of Daytona, that's coming up in about a month from now, and my family and I are going to be going down there. We're not going to be vending, but I'm going to just be going down to hang out for the weekend, see everybody. I never get to, whenever I go to shows, I never get to really look around at other people's stuff very much. It's kind of frustrating because I'm stuck behind my table the whole time, which is a good thing, keeps me from spending too much money, but I'm stuck behind my table. I don't get to go and see what other people have. Like at the NARBC in Tinley Park, I can't get out from behind my table, maybe for a couple minutes at a time. So I just don't get a chance to see much. So for Daytona, and we did this probably about 10 years ago, we went to Daytona like 3 out of 4 years, from like 2006 to 2010 or something. It's just nice to be able to go and walk around casually, not worrying about your table, not worrying about any of that other stuff going on. Just walk around, talk to all my friends and other vendors that are down there, and just get to mingle and just see what everybody else has. There's so many awesome animals out there. I mean, I certainly don't have every morph ball python, not even remotely close. So I want to see what other people are producing, and sometimes that helps me get ideas for what direction I want to take with my collection or with a specific project. So anyway, I'm going to be at Daytona. We're already booked. We're going to be down there. We're going to be staying, in the Hilton, right across from the Ocean Center where the show's at, and I can't wait to see all of you that are going to be down there. So yeah, hopefully I'll run into you down there. If I do, make sure to say hi. Okay, back to the last clutch. I think this video is kind of running a little long again, but I find myself babbling quite a bit today. Okay, this is the banana cinnamon double het genetic stripe clown bred to a lesser double het genetic stripe clown. Double recessives are very hard to hit when you're doing double het to double het. I think this is the same thing that I produced in my first clutch. I'm pretty sure that this is going to end up being a banana cinnamon lesser clown, possible het genetic stripe. There goes Spike again. Someday I'll have to do a video just focusing on him. So many of you know him just by his voice. Unfortunately, this building isn't big enough to get far enough away from him. And that's a lesser. That would be a possible double het. Looks like another lesser to me. Maybe a banana lesser. A little bit lighter. Like a cinnamon. It's funny, some double recessive morphs I hit so quickly and so easily, and others I just struggle at for years. This one's only been, this is 3 clutches. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty cool. It's a genetic stripe of some kind. Maybe a, let's say a lesser genetic stripe. Last chance, come on. Nope, other lesser. So that just goes to show you that some projects are more difficult than others, especially with the double het stuff. So anyway, that's all I have to show for you right now. I'll be back again in probably just a couple of days with another video. My next video, I'm going to show some of my favorite babies from 2019 that I've held back. So I will be back soon, and in the meantime, if you want to see what I have available, make sure to check out my website, royalconstrictordesigns.com. I'll see you soon.